Welcome to RonTape. Luther was a man of noble intent, though his actions may have been questionable. He strived to accomplish justice with every action he took, believing wholeheartedly that in the end it would be for the greater good. This movie was built around this idea and showcased how one person can make a difference by sticking to their moral code. Initially, we came across a serial killer who was manipulating people with threats and intimidation to carry out his sinister deeds, in some instances even leading to their demise. Utilizing his knowledge and expertise, he was able to access their innermost secrets. His hold over them proved so strong that they feared the potential exposure of what lurked in the shadows more than even death itself. By manipulating them beyond measure, they chose death as an escape route rather than have whatever it was revealed. Due to David Roby, portrayed by Andy Serkis, divulging information regarding him publicly and without caution, Luther ended up behind bars. After receiving a broadcasted plea from David, he teamed up with an outsider to escape prison and started doing what had initially gotten him incarcerated in the first place, taking justice into his own hands by finding Callum's murderer and all the other people that David mentioned, something he once promised Callum's mother. During a captivating fight scene in the prison, we watched Luther not only battle against his adversaries, but also for his liberation. You could see that he was determined to reclaim what had been taken from him and regain control of his own destiny. As the episode progressed, we observed that Luther was joining forces with DCI Lane to take on the case. At first, she and her police squad were making attempts to apprehend Luther again. However, as time passed by, their communication deepened and they both began working together toward a common goal. Despite his colleagues' efforts, DCI John Luther achieved superior progress in tracking down David. When the situation became dire and David abducted DCI Lane's daughter, they joined forces to locate him quickly, which ultimately resulted in success, a remote location in Norway. David was a cruel and sadistic serial killer who carried out his heinous acts for pleasure. The initial scene from the movie showcases the gruesome discoveries of around 8 bodies, which were missing since mid-2000s in Norway. Furthermore, we also become aware that an uncountable number of innocent lives had been taken by David's hands. It is truly chilling to witness how many people this one depraved individual could have slaughtered so callously. It was a dreadfully frightening scene. You could feel the malevolence emanating from Serkis's eyes. Even more shockingly, we later discovered that he had burned his spouse to near death for threatening to divulge what he did in the past. This only further drove home how sinister of an individual he truly was. He was determined to launch a live broadcast where viewers had the ability to choose who they wanted him to target. Ultimately, he did this for his pleasure and amusement, but also gave others the opportunity to join in on the fun. But what was the motive for David's killings? His actions were a way of masking his identity, much like those he had killed. David sought to conceal who he truly was from the world, and this became his driving force behind all that violence. His dark secret was a buried treasure, yet no one had unearthed it until his wife exposed him to Luther and DCI Lane during their visit. He couldn't bear the humiliation any further and ran away when they started calling him weak and helpless. Finally, Luther relentlessly pursued him after the room had been locked and set on fire to completely eradicate all evidence.